Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel, broad lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is titled, Could Another One Be in the Works? And those of you brothers out there, you few sisters that's been following the videos and the prophecies and the trends from just been following the page, you should know what I'm speaking about. Okay, can this be Scandemic 2.0, or is this just like another false alarm? Because what I'm realizing, what brothers have been bringing out, and I know brothers have been bringing out information. I myself went into a video, I believe earlier last week, going into how they found like a type of pneumonia in China, where a lot of young folks and kids were allegedly getting sick. And they was talking about due to the lockdowns and stuff like that caused people to get sick, because people was basically on lockdown and quarantined and stuff like that. Because we know, going back to the 2020 ordeal, we knew that a lot of people got the hokey poke out of fear, out of sheer fear and out of intimidation, man. And what we're realizing now is that this is the same playbook they've been running back in 2020. Because when you go back to 2019, matter of fact, we can go back as early as April of 2019. I forgot what show that was. It may have been Ellen DeGenerate or something. I don't know. It was one of those morning talk shows, and you had a so-called supermodel. She looked like an android almost, had a little short haircut, and she had a mask on. It was like this checkerboard outfit, and her name was COVID. You know what I'm saying? Which shows you that the elites, man, they put things right in front of your face to make mockery of you. But yet, it was like an alleged outfit that they were promoting with the face mask. And find out that the woman's name was COVID. And then, I want to say around October that year, they was talking about some type of coronavirus that was in a different parts of the world, and that may possibly spread to this side of the world if it's not utterly contained. And then by January of 2020, you was hearing of cases spreading globally to the point they was shutting down borders. They was restricting flight. You had flight restrictions to different countries. You know what I'm saying? And then before you know it, when it hit here in the United States, I want to say late February, early March, you had lockdowns, which was supposed to last 2 weeks to contain the SPREAD. And then that lasted over into months, into a couple of months, and to the point you had social distancing. You had You had people that were running to the stores to hoard toilet paper and buying up all types of food, etc., in order to sustain themselves, because they was listening to these Western-led medias, okay, like NBC, CBN, CBC, CNN, Fox 32, WGN, Channel 9 News, the Channel 2 News, the Channel 5 News. And this was a constant trend they was promoting or pumping in the news every day, all seconds of the day, which pretty much got the people on edge, man. Because one thing about it, if you want to get people's attention and you want to scare the shit out of people, put the talking points in the news. Because we know that Jake and a lot of elderly people, they glue themselves to the news. And by you got a lot of big mamas and families that's like an overseer of the family. So you already know she's going to get on the phone with Sister Maybelline and Sister Mabel and Aunt Trella and all these other people, And I don't know why I just used that, but I did. But, and they going to start to spread this misinformation out of fear. And then before you know it, that's a trend. Then it's trending on social media. And before you know it, more draconian measures are pretty much on the way. So what we're seeing happening now, they're talking about, it's not as bad as the what, but at the same time, you got this alleged footages of people in hospitals and kids and vomiting and getting sick, and it's just a shit show. But then when you fast forward the narrative back in 2020, they was talking about how all these hospitals were overpacked and overcrowded and people were dying left and right. But yet when you drive past these hospitals, there wasn't nobody in them. I know specifically that was the case because I remember we went down to the Lake of the Ozarks that year. You know what I'm saying? Me and my family at the time, we went down to Lake of the Ozarks, and we got into a wreck on the way. We got into a wreck, so we had to go, to get looked at, make sure everybody was okay. And I kid you not, we got into a wreck probably like around it was pretty like 6, 7 o'clock, something like that. And we got to the hospital probably like around 8:30, something like that. And I mean, literally, it wasn't nobody in this damn hospital. I mean, we was in the hospital till like 3 o'clock in the morning. And yet, I kid you not, I didn't see anybody with mask. I mean, people had their things on, but I didn't see no mask lines. I didn't see none of that shit. And what's so crazy about it, that was the year that everybody was turning up at the Lake of the Ozarks. And I remember that because they had the shit on the news. They like, people supposed to be social distancing, but this is what they're doing. Motherfuckers having pool parties, beach parties, man, penthouse parties. I mean, Jake, we was down there turning up. But yeah, I went to a hospital literally 30 minutes outside of the Ozarks. It wasn't nobody there from this shit. So the narratives were all spent, okay, to scare you people into submission, because hey, they know how dumb you American people are. You listen to the madness on TV, and then you run out of panic and shit, and then you do what they tell you to do, but I know firsthand that them hospitals was not packed because I've seen it. I was actually in one. And living in a demographic like Kansas City, you drive past hospitals all the time. And I mean, North Kansas City Hospital right across the bridge here, and yet wasn't nobody in there. So it was just like, okay, something is not adding up about this. So when you fast forward to today, they're pushing the same narrative. They coming with it. What I know, back in September or August, they was talking about that Biden had approved of a new what in October, and that's when this war kicked off. So everybody was distracted from it. So all of a sudden now, during the war in the Middle East, that's been like so-called halted, like for a temporary ceasefire. But now everybody's focusing on this China thing now, because they're telling people that this thing is spreading like C19. It's already spreading into certain provinces in China, and that they may have to take the necessary precautions in order to contain the spread. So it's looking like playbook number 2. And the crazy part about it is that this guy, Bill Gates, he didn't even mention it. He said, look, the next one will get everybody's attention, because he said the first one didn't really do too good on convincing people, because once people picked up on it, people started to defy the lockdown orders, man. So they said number 2 would definitely get your attention, because I do know when it started back in 2020, we do know that it was a lot of misinformation about it. We do know that it was a lot of lies and deception and a lot of witchcraft behind it. But I think over a course of time, they started releasing these forever chemicals in the food and the air and the water, and people were actually getting sick from what it almost seems to be like a rheumatic fever, which when you go into rheumatic fever or hemorrhagic, or what they call rheumatic, or I think it's like a hemorrhagic fever or something like that, basically that shit can have up until like an 80% mortality rate. Okay, they called it I call it the Mossberg pump, but it's MARBURGVIRUS. Why the fuck did I go this way, man? Oh no, I ain't gonna do that. Nigga run right into me. I get out of line. But anyway, they called it the I call it the Mossberg pump. And basically, if you contain that shit, then basically that's like up until 80% mortality rate, depending on when you catch it and if it's preventative or not. So this may be the one, man, okay? Because I know in like May or June of next year, the WHO will have pretty much the say-so over the medical provisions, and they're going to be the ones that's going to be able to dictate what's law when it comes to these particular pestilence, man. Okay, and this is what they was talking about in Davos this year, when the elites had basically their meeting there about how they can lock the world back down and how they can get everybody under global tracking system. Because at the end of the day, all this is set up to put people part of a case system or a caste system, man, a digital casting system. Okay, which in Europe they have what they call or in China they have what they call a social credit score. Okay, a social credit score dealing with basically you being tracked biometrically, man. He's trying to get his ass over. You know, when people trying to, you know, when they're trying to track you up digitally, so to speak. So that's what this is all about, because you notice in China they have digital credit scores too, man. You know, hold on, Slocky, man. These people driving fucking dumb. But anyway, yeah, they have basically like digital tracking scores in order to see who's gonna be who and if people are complying with these mandates. And if you defy the mandate, then basically they can take away your so-called privileges, man. And this is what they want to do here in the West, because that devil Schwab even said, he said that China and parts of Europe should be like the model of what's happening, or how the world should be ran, meaning they want to put you into this system and they want to be able to track your every move. And that's what these whole man-made pestilence is all about, you know, to put you in part of a system. So when it comes here to the West, it's no coincidence that we have the CBDCs on the horizon with the collapse of the economy. No coincidence that you have a foreign military that's being built up right on the shores of America. You know, the UN, which peacekeepers to be specifically. There's no coincidence that they're gonna have these particular soldiers around the world, because they know that the world is not gonna go for another tyrannical lockdown, man. So they are expecting a war, and they're expecting casualties, man. Okay, and this is why they're getting ready to gear up and get ready. And Gates said it. He said, look, the next one will get your attention. So we know that the models are being shaped. We know through the spirit and power Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, this is all to bring in an institution of the MOTB through justifiable means of tracking sick people and making sure that they're not the ones that spreading it. Like when you go into these different stores and stuff like that, like Amazon Go and these different smart stores, even some Whole Foods, they are equipped with cameras and biometric cameras so they can determine who's who. So they can determine how much you got in your bucket, how much you can buy, you know, how much money you got in your digital wallet. And this is where the world is heading to, man. Okay? And you heard it first from the men of the Great Millstone. Okay? We've been prophesying and telling you that a global digital, or like a digital dystopia, is getting ready to hit the streets of America any day, man. Okay? The model was already there. They already have the provisions in play. They just need the perfect scenario. And what's the chance of them bringing back another you know what? Okay? And this is what I believe through the spirit. They're going to use this on top of an economic crash to be justified on digitally tracking you or chipping you, man. Okay? And that's not too far-fetched. Okay? Because we've seen it in movies like what's that movie? One of the James Bond films, I believe it was Skyfall. They tracked them. Minority Report, The Matrix, fucking it's a lot of movies that they put that tracking shipping people, man. You know, Total Recall, and there's several other movies that they will use that digital means in order to track you, man. Like they say, Big Brother's watching. It was a movie that was supposed to come out back in like 2014 to 2015. It was called Gray State, by this guy by the name of David Crowley. David Crowley was a ex-military personnel, and he was basically like, I believe, is like an insider almost. And he had some type of blueprint to the setup of the New World Order. And he was telling people before they killed him and his family, because allegedly he committed suicide. But I say allegedly because when he was making a movie called Gray State, they said that he was in good spirits, you know, but they didn't want that script getting out to Hollywood. They showed the economic crash. They showed the Civil War. And ultimately, they showed the mass implementation of the RFID chip, man. Okay? So, hey, he was onto something with that movie, so they had to take him out. So now, fast forward to 2023, 24, we can clearly see that being a blueprint of the New World Order. But in order to people to bow down to this system, they got to scare people into submission. Okay? They got to scare you into taking that thing, man. And how else would they do that besides mass casualties and death? Okay, besides putting a RFID chip in you, they have to basically scare you into submission, because they're not gonna say, well, hey, come down here to the nearest state building and let us fit you with this microscopic tag. No, man, they got to scare you into submission, because they know that the average person is not going for it. Okay, there's been too many videos coming out. You got too many people like David Hodges. You got the Southern Prepper. You have us, first and foremost. You got Alex Jones. You have all these people that's been exposing this New World Order. So therefore, people are waking up to the tyranny. They're saying the science don't add up, this don't add up, and you got this guy, Dr. Fauci, that pops up every time this shit pops up on TV when he's been proven to be a fucking liar, man. Okay, and people are realizing that, and they're not really trusting that. Okay, they're not really trusting this again. But see, one thing about you Jakes, what I'm realizing, even though you may wake up to certain facts, a lot of you Jakes, man, you easily rock back to sleep. Okay, just as much shit you Jakes was talking about this guy Trump, now all of a sudden you want him back in office, man, because he was basically giving you more money. See, Jake could do anything if you allow him to be wicked. You know, Jake talk all this shit about this Dr. Fauci cow. He was a liar, this and that. But I guarantee you, the minute he get back on the news spewing his madness and his witchcraft, and he put the perfect bug in you Jake's ear, you gonna fall for it, man. Okay? Jake be the main one talking shit. Oh, I ain't gonna go down there and take no juice. Oh, I ain't putting no face diaper. Okay. That's what you say, but the minute they start falsifying them goddamn numbers and your grandma gets sick from fucking the seasonal flu, when they say that it's gonna be this particular pneumonia, whatever the hell it may be, then you niggas are gonna bitch up real quick, man, because you gonna believe the goddamn narrative, man, like you always do. So this is why we say the hell with you Jakes, man. We ain't out here for you. We out here for the hopeful elect. Okay, me personally, I don't give a damn about the 2/3, man. Yeah, you can go float somewhere, man, because we know that you ain't in the right spirit. And we seen that yesterday with this bugged out, this nigga that looked like Uncle Fester, man, calling himself King David or the House of David, basically giving Jake provisions to sin, man. God damn. These streets are horrible, man. You know, giving Jake provisions to sin, eating pork and all that other madness, man. So the hell with you, man. All right, but let me bring out a couple of precepts here. I'm getting ready to get out the car, man. Make it to Plantation. Come on. Okay. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Yep. So anyway, this is the book of this is the Waba. 2 Corinthians 2:11, it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. That's right, man. We understand that this is a cunningly device that's egged by the spiritual demon Satan. Okay, which is the not spiritual demon Satan, Salakia. Man, I ain't even focused, man. But the so-called white man, not spiritual demon Satan. Even though we know that the spiritual demon Satan works through Esau, Edom, the elites. But the so-called white man being Satan, this is part of his devices, man. Okay. It says, should the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frame in mischief by law? Who is the throne of iniquity? The elites of the society, man. Okay, they frame mischief by law. Because now everything that's getting ready to happen, they're going to have certain legislation. They're going to have parameters and orders. They're going to have military to come through and enforce and make sure everybody is quarantining, you know. And if you're not quarantining, they're going to throw you in the FEMA camp. Micah 2:1, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. It says, when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. That's right. The elites, we understand, have the power to enforce these lockdowns and these particular falsified measures, man. All right. But anyway, I'm here at the Plantation, brothers, man, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bashimi, Hawashai, Bashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom to you brothers out there and you few sisters that may tune in and watch. Lord's will you edify it to the next lesson. Shalom.